So today we got two incredibly powerful villains going head to head. Sinestro versus General Zod. Who wins? Well, let's find out. Once considered to be the greatest Green Lantern in any sector, Sinestro came to believe that the only way to ensure order in the universe was through the reign of fear. Founding his own corps on that basis, Sinestro became one of the deadliest threats the Green Lanterns have ever faced. Using his Yellow Lantern ring, Sinestro is able to do pretty much everything a Green Lantern can do, except he gains his power through fear. The ring can project beams of energy and fire destructive blasts powerful enough to one-shot several different green and red lanterns. He's also able to form protective bubbles and force fields that are durable enough to stop attacks from both the weapon and multiple Thunderers. Sinestro can also create energy constructs, and really create anything that the wearer can imagine from hard light energy, as long as they acknowledge fear to make it. The greater the fear, the more complex and intricate the constructs can be, to the point where constructs can be complex machines, computers, and even people. With the fear ring, Sinestro can fly in the atmosphere or in space, even moving fast enough to move from planet to planet in a couple of hours. He can turn himself or other objects invisible, will things to move how he wants them to, simulate light-based radiation, probe other people's minds, and transform objects. He can control the temperature of something as large as a star, ranging from the heat of the sun down to absolute zero, open wormholes, and even has a pocket dimension built into the ring that can be used to contain opponents. Every ring also has a connection to the central battery on Quard, which acts as an onboard computer. This AI system contains a large database of information that may be crucial to the Lantern's success, and it can also alert the wielder of incoming attacks. And then, in the other corner of General Zod, General Drew Zod was a member of the Kryptonian military, exiled to the Phantom Zone by Jor-El after attempting to conquer Krypton. When he escaped years later, he sought his revenge and began to target Superman and his adopted planet of Earth. Being a Kryptonian, Zod possesses all the same powers as Superman and other Kryptonians when exposed to Yellow Sun. He's incredibly strong, and is even able to rival the likes of Superman and Supergirl in strength. He's easily broken Green Lantern constructs, sent Mongol flying into space with one strike, knocked out Martian Manhunter, crushed Hal Jordan's hand with absolute ease, and knocked out Cyborg Superman with a single strike. Zod is also exceptionally durable, able to take punches from high-tier characters like Clark and Diana, and come out relatively unscathed. But he's also just as durable on the inside as he is on the outside, as one time Amanda Waller put a kryptonite bomb in his head in an attempt to get him on the Suicide Squad, and Zod went in there and just plucked the bomb out. He's also made sure that his mind is defended against telepathic attacks, as Zod knows that the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. He's able to move and fly incredibly fast, even rivaling Superman, and it's also interesting to note that Zod is actually incredibly stealthy when he moves, even being silent enough to where Clark can't easily detect him. Then, of course, General Zod also has powerful heat vision and freeze breath, similar to all Kryptonians. Now, the one thing that does set Zod apart from most members of his race is that he is an exceptional and highly trained fighter. This training allows him to hit harder, land more effective and devastating attacks, and take out enemies with a single precise strike. Zod is also absolutely ruthless and stubborn, and he absolutely will not hesitate to kill when he needs to. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, it's safe to say that Zod is physically superior to Sinestro here. I mean, he is a Kryptonian after all. And with that strength, he's been able to knock out Martian Manhunter, defeat Cyborg Superman with one punch, and send Mongol flying into outer space. Now, it's been said that Zod and other Kryptonians aren't as powerful as Superman, because Clark has been absorbing Yellow Sun radiation all of his life, so Zod has to rely on his ruthlessness and martial arts skills. But the thing is, with the current New 52 and Rebirth Zod, that isn't necessarily true. When he received his powers, Apollo, the god of the sun, silently allowed them to grow stronger at a much faster rate, so they reached a much more powerful level than they normally would have reached in that short amount of time. I mean, we can see this at play, as an injured Zod was able to stalemate Clark, while Zod himself was holding back, because losing Clark would be losing Krypton all over again. But Sinestro doesn't have to rely on his physical powers. He's got his lantern ring, and with that, Sinestro can create pretty much anything and everything. But unfortunately for him, versatility doesn't win you a battle every time. I mean, if that was true, then characters like Hulk and Thing would lose every fight. And here, Sinestro's versatility and his powering aren't going to do him a whole lot of good. Zod has easily trashed Hal Jordan's lantern constructs like they were nothing, and Hal and Sinestro's constructs are roughly on the same level. It's even probable that Sinestro's constructs will actually be weaker when going up against Zod, since Sinestro's ring runs all on fear, and Zod doesn't know fear. Then Sinestro's constructs have been trashed by Lobo, and Lobo wasn't actually injured by them, and Zod and Lobo are on the same power level. Now, Sinestro has been rather creative with his constructs before, and even created constructs inside of Mongol, but this same tactic won't work against Zod. Because remember how Zod ripped a bomb out of his brain before? Zod is just as durable on the inside as he is on the outside, and he'll be able to handle any construct thrown his way. Speaking of Mongol, Sinestro has been literally stomped by Mongol before, and even though Sinestro has defeated him, it was a long victory. Zod beat Mongol with one punch. Then there's also Zod's speed to take into account. Kryptonians are much faster than Lanterns, and Zod can combine this speed with his incredible skill in a devastating way. All of this just leads to a General Zod being too much for Sinestro. The only thing that Sinestro could do to definitively win is to use the ring to send him to another dimension. But more than likely, Zod will use his speed and skill to rush in there. He'll keep Sinestro occupied and take him down as quickly as possible, if not killing him, because that's what Zod does. General Zod wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos to this one every single day, and I'll see you next time.